sweet. You got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, loving this devotion. Live it up, live it up, live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up, switch it up, switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar. All I want is satisfaction. Make a move, baby, you got nothing to lose. Give me that, give me that, give me that good reaction. Gonna make it right, little like an offer I can't refuse. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar, just my kind of heat. Ooh, that sugar, sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, loving this devotion. Live it up, live it up, live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up, switch it up, switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar. All I want is satisfaction. Make a move, baby, you got nothing to lose. Give me that, give me that, give me that good reaction. Gonna make it right, little like an offer I can't refuse. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we
Morning. Morning, folks. Hope you are well. Am I coming through okay? Just let me know if I am. If you're in the room, come and say hello. I haven't been on for a few days, but there's literally nothing going on in the markets. And normally, again, as knowing my strategy, and some of you should do that, when you have a good period, for me, it's normally followed by a quiet period, and this seems to be what is happening. So understanding those conditions, doing my scan in the morning and realizing, look, this market just ain't for me. I don't know if today's market is for me, but there's a few things to look at possibly moving forward into the week. But just getting out, as I said, trading for the other stuff, and you know, takes me an hour a day to do what I potentially do, and I'm perfectly happy with that. So I don't want to be someone who sits in my office for 10 days a week, you know, looking at charts. I'm you know, created a strategy and a system that works for me and what I want to do moving forward, and that is having limited screen time and being efficient as a result of that. Morning, Silver, mate. Hope you're well. Right, so news today. Where is it? Here we go. So some USD news coming out from 4 o'clock UAE time. Again, put that into your time zone. Building permits. Let me get my pen up. Where is my pen? Excuse me. Have you guys been trading the last few days? Or have you been staying relatively, keeping your powder dry, as they say? Why is my pen not working today? Oh, here we go. There we go. Right. So, yeah, from 4 o'clock, building permits, durable goods. At 4:30, consumer confidence, which will be interesting, and home sales again, which will be interesting. So these are the big ticket items that will affect the market or will cause some volatility today. So be aware of that just prior to the US opening up. Again, not going to predict. I do think consumer confidence will be interesting, and as well as house sales coming out today. So let's see the numbers. Forecasted 675, down from a previous 683, and consumer confidence rising from a forecasted 104 from a previous 102. So let's see what that comes out at today. Again, I'm not going to predict that. I will see what's coming out, but I don't really care. Let's wait for the market's reaction, as always. Right, S&P today, we are still in pullback mode for me. Took two yesterday, 6R. Oh, brilliant, Silver. What did you take? What trades did you take? Well done, that's good to hear. So still in pullback mode. Nothing here is massively worrying me. Possibly we do come back and tag this zone. We maybe have enough here around the 20, looking for that, market to tell us, are we going to push on? Will it come today? It could come today. I do think it's digested from our latest move. And I said, we're just in this. So overall bias still remains up. Yeah, we could come down a little bit more, but essentially all I'm looking for now from my personal view of market is a reason to enter long, or a reason to be a bit more confident in continuation, impulse corrective continuation in that S&P. So until I get that, and probably the 4-hour dailies for me is the best place to start. But looking to break out of this structure here, this channel, essentially channel corrective. Yes, it could go either way. I would be much happier if it does it this way, because again, you've got the power of the trend on your side. If we come down, we break underneath and possibly break underneath this zone we've identified, then you may become a little bit, what's going to happen? A little bit messy, a little bit uncertain in the market. So if we don't do that, I think that momentum, continuation, and follow through that we get as a result of certain markets will continue. So that's obviously what we want to see. But it could come today, it could come tomorrow, it could come during the end of the week. But looking for that real catalyst to say, right, S&P is done with that corrective and we continue to move to the upside, which we've been doing quite well recently in recent weeks. So as you can see, again, from a weekly perspective, nothing massively worrying here. Could we get a bit more of a weekly corrective rather than a daily? We could do, but I'd rather look at that daily and say, okay, it could come potentially this week. But we also have to be aware that from a weekly perspective, we have broken a significant zone. Maybe we need some price acceptance. Maybe we need a few weeks around here hovering around to say, right, we're happy being above this structure, and then off we potentially go. So that is on the cards as well. So yeah, overall bias is up, waiting for that catalyst to move. Kiwi yen and pound CAD. Kiwi yen and pound CAD yesterday. Kiwi yen. You got 6R. What was your trade, Silver? Was that a breakout? Kiwi yen. Pound CAD. I presume it's Kiwi yen longs, pound CAD shorts. Anyway, well done. 6R, brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant, mate. So a very, very good day, a very good start to the week for you, Silver, huh? Brilliant. Right, dollar. Dollar's been ranging a little bit. You know, I still like it short. You know, I still do like it short. Again, going with this weekly. Can't explain after... Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, I'd like to see. So I'm still expecting it to come down and hit this handle. We haven't done that yet from our decent move the week before. We're in a, to say, not very nice daily price action here. If I zoom in on this so you can see it a little bit better. If you guys need me to zoom in, by the way, because I've got a big screen here, just let me know. You can see it a little bit better. But I probably would have expected this to start moving down from here. It's not really done that. So we had a bit of move to the upside. You know, maybe we get something like this. Do we get something like this before moving down? Bias is still that it hits there. I still like dollar shorts. Albeit I don't like these 2 days of price action. Whether that comes in volatility. Maybe we weren't ready to move just yet. And we're getting that kind of stop out locations. Liquidity, if you want to call it, whatever. But I don't buy that rise. Put it this way. I don't buy this. I'd rather be looking at ideas to short it or reasons to short it. And, you know, certainly if you get something like this, that would be quite nice. Maybe we're just waiting for that 20-period catch-up after this recent move. But bias for dollar, albeit today, would I say I'm very happy selling the dollar right now? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. If we get... you know, that kind of fall off and that real loss of momentum here. Because this at the moment doesn't look bad, right? Recent price action. But if you get this 4 hour kind of coming down here, then, yeah, I would say, right, I wouldn't mind the idea of dollar shorts there. I.e., you're kind of going like this. And again, coming down, creating possibly that V reversal. I wouldn't mind that. So let's see how London opens up today. And if we get some weakness in that dollar, it may not be a bad time. You get a wee bit of strength into it, then obviously that's slightly different. But, I mean, if you're looking at dollar longs, it kind of has to move relatively soon, right? It's certainly digested from its move. It's ready to move up if we're taking recent price action, i.e. from here. You know, it's kind of ready to move to the upside, but it's not pushing through. So you get a close underneath here, underneath that 200, I think. With this, it does look a little bit better short. My bias is short. Yeah, it might not be in a bad position where you could see the dollar potentially come off there. You know, 15 minutes before this hourly closes, I do agree it is still in this corrective, so you probably need a little bit more, whether it be something like this. Then, yeah, okay, I would say, okay, are we losing momentum? Again, path of least resistance is down for shorts in that dollar. So yeah, looking for shorts and looking for longs in the S&P and looking for shorts in the dollar is my personal bias, and I don't mind that at all. Working on your new strategy, getting more clear. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. So yeah, send it through in the Discord. I'd like to see those trades actually. That would be interesting, if you want to, of course. Right, setups today. So we've got 3. USD Mexican is the first one with US dollar shorts. This looks to be breaking through this area, going with this overall trend. I don't think we're massively extended here from a weekly perspective. I think we're just going with that market. And again, from a daily perspective, we're correcting back to roughly around that 20. And I don't mind where that is. So overall trend to the downside, going with the trend. Don't think we're extended. Don't mind that daily pullback. Yes, we could get a wee bit more, but I'm happy with where it is. So we can see the setup here, looking to break through this area with our V reversal accumulation. Nice price action. Nice price action in here. And looking for this to break through, retest, continuation down. I take that all day. So USD Mexican, possible shorts. Maybe we can look at on the 30-minute as well. So if we bring it down to the 30. So potential breakout retest on this time frame as well as the hourly. So possibly something for today, maybe going into around maybe end of the London session, maybe into the US. Obviously, we'll have that news coming out, which will affect the dollar. But I don't mind where that is. So if we do get a break, you know, what could potentially happen, and we've seen happen before, is potentially, again, this is not what I'm saying what will happen, but what I would like to happen is you get a break over London or London Open. You get the retest during London, i.e. preparing for that news coming out around 4:30, and then, you know, maybe you get your catalyst around that time. So something like that for me would be absolutely ideal, which you'd expect to come on higher volume for continuation down on USD Mexican. So yeah, don't mind that at all. Like that. Yeah, sure, Civil. No problem, mate. No problem. Like to see it. Okay, in UK Brent and USD Swiss. So UK oil. What I'm looking for is, I mean, I've talked about this for a while. I do like where this is from a weekly perspective. You know, I like what we're doing here. You know, I like that we've tagged this 200. I like this accumulation period, looking for, you know, a break underneath that. And really, if we get it, there's, you know, there's not, I wouldn't say there's any major significant zones here. I think this, where we are, is our significant zone, right? So we break through it. You've kind of got, okay, you could say a little bit here, but you've kind of got some clear air here for a break underneath. So I like where that, you know, the possibilities, the reason to enter and the potential, if I'm right there, is quite large on a breakdown side in oil. So from a daily perspective, you know, I was looking at this. It was an aggressive entry because we didn't have the volume, and I didn't quite like it enough anyway. But from a 4-hour perspective, we've got the confluence there with a potential short, right? So if I move away from this and move back here, it's probably a bit clearer. We can see our structure. So our initial structure here, V reversal, cup structure, whatever you want to call it, first structure. We're in this corrective from this recent move. So really within this bar, or maybe the next 4-hour bar, what I'm looking for is a catalyst to go short. And ideally it comes in the form, because of this 20, you know, of maybe, I mean, maybe if this 4-hour closes like that, we got our evening star with a, you know, an uptick in volume as I expect to see as London opens. That would be good enough for me for an aggressive entry. Again, it's going with trend, so I can take that aggressive. I just need my catalyst and I need my reason to enter. So I do think it's good. We've had a good move to the downside within that 40-60 box corrective. If I take my fib here, we can probably see it as normal. There we go, tagging right here on that nice 50% zone. So this is nice. I like this. You know, it could be a trade for today. I've been trying to get involved in oil shorts for quite some time. Whether, say for example, this closes like this, would this be enough for me to say I want to go short? You know, if we had a bigger wick there, or, but then it is a kind of really nice theoretical hammer. Again, this is not closed yet. It's got a few more hours for it to close, so be aware of that. But I am looking for a reason to short it, and it could come relatively soon, i.e. today, in the form of that catalyst to entry with an uptick in volume. So let's see. Again, we'll have to wait for that 4-hour closure. Maybe the next one, if we get some downward movement, creating that evening star with our correct volume signature would be something. Now, if we do come down as London opens and potentially close with that wick and an outside bearish engulfer, then that would be enough for me as well. So I'll keep an eye on that today and see how it closes. But I like the idea of certainly shorting oil, and I've liked that idea for quite some time. So looking for that for an aggressive entry. And finally, USD Swiss. USD Swiss. So USD Swiss from a 4-hour perspective, from a higher time frame perspective, my worry about the weekly is, you know, just this. That's my worry about the weekly. I'm looking short now, but we have had a pullback. We've got a decent week 2 weeks ago, and you know, as we look on the daily is actually pretty nice. So going with that overall trend on the weekly, but we can see our structure here, ABC pullback, not a trade for me, but a good inverted bar, rejection of this previous support becoming new resistance and looking to move to the downside. So from a 4-hour perspective, if I move back on this, so from a 4-hour perspective here, we're looking at B wave, which is obviously my favorite area to take a break. So we created our V reversal here, and we're within this accumulation period. So if I zoom in, the area is great. So A, B, and this is the exact C we want to see. So notice how we've just essentially tagged into what I consider those stops at A wave, and we've immediately got that rejection, obviously on that 200 as well. So in terms of your C wave, that is kind of what you want to see, right? Which then in turn created our V reversal. Yeah, okay, we've got this bar on open, but we've not broken through yet. That's okay. I can allow that on open, but I need a little bit more here, whether it comes in the form of taking it down, creating a smaller secondary structure from our first, and then accumulation prior to a break. Maybe something like that would be a little bit more clear. Whether we get that, whether the dollar is affected by what's coming out tonight, we'll have to wait and see. But maybe a trade that, if it does indeed accumulate, could be for tomorrow. So pertinent for today, not as much. Oil is certainly pertinent for me today. Whether we get that catalyst, you know, from a small time frame perspective, you kind of like where we're seeing a little. Oh Jesus! I don't want to do that. You're kind of seeing a little bit of rejection off that 200, which is quite a nice area. You're seeing it again off that hourly, and if you can get a break here, you know, I mean, look at that. It just looks like your rising wedge. Can get a break, which will translate into that 4-hour as our possible catalyst. Like that, absolutely like that all day. So oil there, and obviously USD Mexican possibly for a little bit later on. But again, I like this as well. I've been trying to get involved in USD Mexican for ages. I think I got a an order in, but it was a loss somewhere on a break here. I think it was here before we moved to the downside. So just gotten on the wrong side of a slight impulsive new move before we move down. But I still like where it is. So yeah, don't mind those two at all. You know, price action going in is really nice. You can see your pretty clear V reversal. I mean, on the 30-minute there, I don't know whether that's clean enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, some could consider that as a breakout retest, right? I'm a bit more comfortable with I think this is where I wouldn't consider that a real break. Some may, but you know, I think this is probably where the market's respecting. Just moving your area slightly changes the whole dynamic. It's not a perfect retest for me as well. So I'd rather we get this break and then we get our steady state, or we get our ABC back into that 20 catalyst to go short on an uptick in volume. So you get that break, lowering volume, uptick in volume in there. But I like where that is. We talked about this 5 wicks daily up. Yeah, this one, right? I remember speaking about that. And we said at that point in time, yeah, it looks good for sure. I mean, I think even back up here, I was looking at USD Mexican shorts. But yeah, I remember talking about that. I mean, that is just, it's just a lovely chart, isn't it? Really, from here. Okay, we've had this, but ultimately moving to the downside. I remember looking ages ago, Silver, do you remember? Somewhere probably around here looking at USD Mexican shorts. It's a nice bar, isn't it, here? This is a nice bar. Anyway, I still like it short, so hopefully I can get involved in the right hand, the right side of it. So I like it, and obviously this. So let's see. Right, anything you guys want me to look at before I head off? Any charts you're looking at? Any questions? Looking at the same short, yeah. I mean, obviously, my preference, because the breakout retests are obviously a little bit more rare, and I love the aggressive entry. Like, I love that strategy. Maybe because it's new, I've been trading the breakout retest for ages, and this aggressive strategy obviously is completely different. Oh yeah, sorry, Silva, I'll do that. But I hope I do get it, because I do love an aggressive entry. That's for sure. And actually, I don't think... Was any of my trades last week aggressives? I can't remember. I'll have to go back into it. All right, setups today. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. CAD Swiss. I think I looked at a lot of these, Silver. My issue with them was the higher time frames. But let's have a look at CAD Swiss. I think CAD Swiss was one of them where I kind of want to take it. I would like to take it, but I just couldn't. Just because of where that daily is. But I see what you're looking at from a 4-hour perspective. The setup is good. Are you looking at a breakout? Or are you looking at a breakout retest? I'm not sure if you've been tagged in if you're looking at that. Oh, hold on. Because if you're looking there, you might have been tagged in, which is fine. And yeah, I like the setup. My worry is that. But then you could say, well, you've broken structure here, right? You've broken structure here. So, I mean, technically, are we changing trend? And CAD Swiss up fundamentally would make sense to me. So I don't mind that idea. I couldn't, yeah, the setup is good. There was just that 200 and just keeping me out. But I don't mind it. CAD Swiss long, yeah. Don't mind it. Kiwi Yen. It's another one that I like the idea of it, but it was just these higher, well, it's just that on the daily. Weekly's great. But then again, this is where people will say to me, Ryan, you might get involved, or you might not take trades that are going your way because you think they're extended. So you've got a breakout here. Again, I don't know whether you're looking breakout retest for all. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be better. I just worry about the higher time frames. For me, I mean, that. I couldn't get involved long up there. And again, that could be a criticism of the way that I trade, but it's just I can't bring myself to do it. Other people may and it is wrong sometimes, because, for example, look at Euro Yen. I didn't want to go long up here. And look what's happened. So there's obviously there's positives and negatives of everything, right? Where somebody might say, well, do you know what? I like going long here. And I did say, well, maybe I was a little bit harsh on Euro Yen in terms of that weekly. And maybe looking back, I possibly was. But, I'd rather be out of it wishing I was in than in it wishing I was out. I'm okay, not being in it. And as I said, there's positive and negatives of how I look at the higher time frames. And that's the only reason why with Kiwi Yen. But others will say, well, it's on a run. Why wouldn't you long it? It's still looking good from a 4-hour perspective. It's still looking good. You're going with that absolute momentum. The 4 hours decent, so why don't you long it? And I understand that. So yeah, I don't mind it. Don't mind it. Looks extended by the trend. Yeah. That's exactly what I just said. So don't want to stop. Yeah. As I said, you've got to figure out a way that you like it, right, from a higher time frame perspective, and that's just the way that I like it. I'm happier. Obviously happier going with how I see markets. Euro NZD. Okay, I think I put one on this as well. Yeah. Euro NZD, you've kind of got your in. I do think weekly is better long. Okay, I do think from a weekly perspective that looks better long. From a daily, again, there's a question mark of where do you define this, right? You're getting some wicks to the upside. Will it be like USD Mexican? Although that was different because USD Mexican, you're going with trend. So you could possibly see something like this. In which case, downward movement intraday, yeah, would make sense. So you're looking, what time frame? 30 minutes. You're looking breakout retest. Retesting now. Yeah, I think there's pips to be made there. I don't know how far it goes, but if you get 1 or 2 R out of it, then perfect. Because it does look like it's stalling here. Do I think Euro NZD should be moving up? Maybe not. But the weekly does look better long. So yeah, I could see the in. Retesting now. If you get your catalyst, yeah, you could certainly make multiple R on movements like this, right? Here. And then, you never know. Well, that doesn't have to happen, but you could be right, and then off we go to the downside. So yeah, don't mind it. You only need 3R. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Euro NZD shorts. Yeah. I like all the context. I like the trading time frames, and I could see why you're looking at them. Yeah. So USD CAD short. And that looks to have gone, right? I don't think that's going to retest. Good bar on the break. You probably wanted the retest here, right? It didn't quite happen. You've got that movement down. Yeah. Oh, you're fully out on don't. Yeah, okay, great. USD CAD. Yeah, I presume that's gone now for you. Anyway, yeah, USD CAD short. But I would say that same thing with that. Although I think that one looks a little bit worse than the others in terms of your daily, but hey, it's moving down. And if that dollar decides to move, if the dollar decides to come off, the dollar has still got a bit to go, it's still got some weakness in it, I think. The dollar could have some real weakness going into the end of the year if we're correct, or if I'm correct in my view from that weekly chart, some real weakness. So let's see. Selling the dollar for the remainder of the year, does it make sense? I don't want to say for the remainder of the year. It's not really anything can happen. But right now, if the analysis comes correct, then selling dollar, yeah, absolutely makes sense. But yeah, I don't mind them. That one, I think USD CAD is probably gone now. Well, technically for a retest, but CAD Swiss breakout retest, Kiwi Yen breakout retest, Euro NZD breakout retest. Yeah, not going to argue with that at all, Silver. Not going to argue with that at all. Yeah, perfect. Good. Plus, you had 6R yesterday, right? So. You're happy. How's your stock net going, by the way, Silver? Are you up to are you getting close to the 10K mark then? What I don't like, I got my 20K one. What I don't like about it is it's a completely new account. Now again, this is a little bit pernickety, but in terms of my FX book, right? I have to set up a new one for every scale, which is a bit annoying. So I would have preferred them to just You know, so for this one, this is now stopped, right? I believe so. Yeah, 10,000. So I'm going to have to set up a new one, which in case I'll have like, you know what I mean? So you've got portfolio. You got like, you know, 4 or 5 portfolios in my MIFX book, when it would just be easier to have one, and which they did for my last one, for my bigger account. It's just the same account, but it's a new one every time. Anyway, that's my only criticism I've had of Sai so far, is that. On the real account, on the actual StockNet account. And there you go. There's a good example of trading, right? For anybody new that's watching this, this is essentially how my trading usually goes. It's flat. It's, you know, sometimes up, and then we get, you know, the big weeks, and then it goes back to flat, and then sometimes up, and then we get the big weeks, and essentially the equity goes like this. That's how my trading kind of works. But this is from March, remember? So March, April, May, June. Quiet. Boom, 1 week off we pop. But you still have the account, right? If you want to say or not, you know, obviously they have 8%, and that first scale is the hardest one, right? But anyway, if you had 6R yesterday, it should be coming back up, and yeah, there's no rush with it. That's the good thing. There's no time limits. There's no nothing, right? So it's just getting that first scale is really important. That first scale is the hardest and the most important, because you've got the least drawdown at that point. Yeah. So I think, so now with mine, obviously 8%, the 21 is, I don't know, 13, 14% drawdown, I guess I've got roughly now, up from probably I think maybe around 12, 13% drawdown, up from 8. So again, it just becomes a little bit easier. And obviously now my risk percentage has gone down from 2 to 1.5. So I would expect not to lose this account now, which is nice. Nice. Anyway, you'll get it back, Silver. Just patience and discipline. That's all it is. This one has taken a lot of patience, you know, because I realized that how quickly I scaled it up, and now it's going to take a little bit of time, because I've got to get back to the 175 just to be back in normal, and then make that 10% and make the 16K off 175. So at least I'm back over the 150 mark now. You know, if I get to the 152, or maybe over the 151, move up slightly to maybe 500, and just keep going up and up and up. But this has been ages now. So it took, 8 months to go from 10K to 175, and I think October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. I'm now 9 months on I believe on this scale, maybe 8 months. So 8 months in that drawdown, which is obviously it's slightly different because I've had to reduce risk and then come back up. But this will be a hell of a lesson once I get it back up in patience on that road to the million. So yeah, anyway, nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to go and force it or try and get too much back too soon. But I'm going back in the right direction, and hey, have a good end of the year. I'll be perfectly happy. If the trader's looking for 30R trades, be careful. Yeah, SMC, right? SMC. I've not seen a verified MyFX book for, let's say, over a year for an SMC trader, which again, look for those massive RR. You know, I don't even know what their win rate will be. Yeah, me too. All right, guys, appreciate it. I'll see you all tomorrow, and I'll let you know if I take a trade in the Discord. All right, guys, trade safe. Peace.